So my last sustainability commentary video was kind of a hit. You guys really seem to enjoy it, so I'm doing another one. Today's video I'm really excited for. It's all about sustainability tips and it has low waste in the title. I feel like this is going to be more on my philosophy on sustainability, so I'm really excited for today's video. I haven't even introduced myself. Hey guys, my name is Amy and I make videos on sustainable living for anyone and everyone because I think we can all save the planet. So definitely don't forget to subscribe, because why wouldn't you want to save the planet? So this series is called Sustainability and I basically react to videos on sustainability and I drink my tea. So if that's interests you at all, definitely don't forget to keep on watching. As you guys probably figured from the last video, I have a lot of qualms with the zero waste movement, but the low waste movement I really support. So I'm really excited for today's video.
Consuming. In order to know where you're going, you first have to know where you've been. Now, naturally, most of our waste actually comes from our food consumption. So the first thing that I recommend that you guys do—
I love this intro, it's so aesthetic.
Not your refrigerator, because what's important about this is going to give you a picture that are actually leaving behind single-use waste. Because we're not focusing on the things that you're consuming in their entirety. And these are the things that you're going to indicate on your shopping list or your grocery list. Because now when you go to the supermarket, these are the things that you're going to try to replace.
Yes, I love that tip so much. So whenever I go grocery shopping, I always try to get things without packaging because it's just more sustainable. Because if you think about how many times you buy something, you're just using all that plastic up for nothing if it's just gonna go to waste. So I try to buy as many things as possible as I can without packaging. And sometimes I'll go to the store and there'll be like strawberries in packaging and apples aren't in packaging, and even though I want the strawberries, I'll just pick the apples just because it's just a little bit more sustainable.
Maybe just get some on the vine. The items you've indicated are the ones that you want to look for alternatives or substitutes. And since plastic specifically is one of our biggest problems, that's what we're going to focus on first. Instead of grabbing a bag of salad, buy it fresh. And gradually, one by one, as you go through your list, again, just look for substitutions. And this way you can store it.
I really like this tip because it's not really asking you to change too much. All you're doing is substituting something you do for something that's a little bit better.
Your own reusable bags, creating almost no waste. Almost, because they do still come with twist ties around them. Plastic isn't the only culprit. Remember, the focus is producing less waste.
Yes, I really like this video already. I love when she said that it's producing less waste rather than it's producing zero waste, because like I said in my last video, you really can't produce zero waste ever. You're just producing less waste. And she also said it's not just the plastic you should be worried about, but basically everything you buy. So even if you buy things in glass containers, try to see if you can get those things package free, because glass is still something that uses up energy to create, even if it's like recycled glass. So just trying to shift everything you use to plastic free is amazing, rather than just making plastic out to be the #1 enemy, because yes, it's a huge problem, but everything we make comes with energy. I love that this video is really focusing on a more holistic approach to sustainable living, rather than being like, just get rid of plastic and you're good.
And while berries are close to impossible to not buy in plastic cartons, you do usually have a little bit more flexibility with milks. If you also drink nut milks or plant-based milks and are finding your options a little bit more limited, a great hack as well is to just buy nut butters, because these you can sometimes find in glass jars. And if you guys need a recipe for almond milk, I've got that too. So now we're just going to take everything that we just practiced and apply it to our beauty items as well. Go through all of the items that you
I love this editing.
And ask yourself, where can I find alternatives? And specifically how you do that is you just ask yourself, am I committed to this brand? Is this a staple for me? Or can I try something different? One resource that I came upon and has been helping me quite a bit is the package free shop. So for me, these are some of the substitutions that I've made. However, you'll notice that some things, there are still products that I use that come in plastic packaging. Like for instance, my electronic toothbrush, which of course has refillable heads. I and my dentist have deemed this a necessity. So this is something that for me is not replaceable. However, I do try to do my part.
I love this so much. When you're trying to live a more sustainable life, everyone's different. Everyone's gonna have different things that they can and can't change. So if you don't want to switch to a zero waste toothbrush alternative, then don't do it. You don't have to do every single thing to become zero waste. When you're not worried about putting things in a jar, you're more able to make those compromises that still allow you to live a sustainable life that is still comfortable and still true to who you are. I love that she's admitting that she's living a sustainable lifestyle, but she's not going to switch to a bamboo toothbrush just because that's what everyone else is doing. So if you want to be sustainable, just do it on your own terms, as long as you're doing your best and making the changes that are making a huge impact.
By buying those replacement heads less frequently. So if you have any staples or products that you're just not willing to part with, that's okay.
Exactly.
Remember, this is about being conscious. So right now, only focus on what you can do and not what you should do. And remember too that living a more sustainable life doesn't mean that you have to go out and buy anything. In fact, it's actually about buying less.
Yes.
Again, it's just about being mindful.
So any additional
purchases that you make are to make your life more convenient. Because if it's harder to be sustainable, then there would be no incentive for anyone to do it.
Exactly. That's exactly it. And that's why so many people get put off by being zero waste or being more sustainable, because they think it's harder, when in reality a lot of the changes are more affordable and aren't really harder, they're just different. So as you can see in this part of the video, she's using like a reusable cotton swab instead of the ones that you throw away. That's not even much harder than using the throwaway kind. You just kind of use it and you wash it, and if anything it's easier because then you don't have to worry about running out, because it's just something that you always have on hand. You just have to quickly wash it. We really don't have to make living sustainable harder, because then why would anyone want to do it?
Other than the obvious benefits, of course. This is about you. It's about your life, so it has to fit your needs. Which brings me to my next category, lifestyle. This is about controlling your contribution to the environment. Your footprint may or not be identical to everyone else's. So just like we did with our products, we're now going to focus on our behavior. Look at your daily routine and see what substitutions you can make that follow your habits. For example, if you know that you like to go to the grocery store after you go to work, then keep reusable bags in your car. Or if you always leave from your house, then just put them somewhere that you know you're going to see them. For me, I hang them in my kitchen, because if I don't physically see it, it doesn't exist. The way my mind is set up, if it's out of sight, it's out of mind. In fact, anytime that you leave your house, you should be grabbing a reusable bag, because we often make spontaneous purchases when we go out. So even if you don't plan to buy something, just take one anyway. By the way, I do have a DIY for this, so if you guys want to...
Yes, that's such a great tip. I always keep one in my backpack, or when I was back in school, I would just honestly use my backpack sometimes as a bag. If you always have it on hand, then you're never gonna forget about it. So if you just always have a reusable water bottle, you always have your reusable bag with you, then you don't have to remind yourself of it. So always keep it in your car. They have ones that are really compact and you just open it up. I left mine somewhere, so I don't have it anymore, but I definitely want to buy another one because they're so easy to use. They like scrunch into a little ball like this, and they're just so convenient. So get one of those that you can scrunch up, and it'll just be easier for you to always remember because you just always have it on hand.
Check that out. I'll link it up in the cards and down in the description box. Think about it. Not being home is like the utmost reason why we purchase a lot of single-use items. So whether you're just running errands or going to work, your requirement for a beverage or some type of sustenance is going to arise at some point. Plus, carrying a reusable bottle is like the most common and probably the most blatant reminder that you should be drinking water. But of course you can put whatever you want on it. The point is that this is going to keep you hydrated, and that's not a bad thing for anyone. You can also apply this to taking your own lunch or snacks to work as well. That way you aren't eating out as much, which will probably save you money in the long run. And since we're on the subject, I can't go without mentioning that eating less meat is actually kinder to our ecosystem. So you could consider something like having meatless Mondays, or just incorporating more plant-based meals into your diet more often. So if you're going to meet family or friends,
that scrambled eggs, like vegan scrambled eggs, that looked really good. I want to try that somehow. I had never watched this girl's channel before this, but I love her editing. I love all the tips she's giving. I love her macro approach to sustainability, and that recipe looks delicious. I'm gonna try to see if she has more videos on cooking, because I'm getting hungry watching this part. Chances
are even higher that you're going to probably eat or drink out. So maybe you want to consider taking a straw or cutlery with you, especially if you already have intentions of eating at a particular place and you know that they don't have non-disposable options. So
I don't know if you guys saw that, but in the bottom of the video, she basically wrote a note that you can just bring your own silverware from home. And I stand that so much because I see a lot of people, even when I was getting into the zero waste movement, I was so tempted so many times to buy like a reusable fork and knife. I realized after a while that I have all of those things at home and there's no point in me going and buying a spoon because I have it at home already. So I love that she mentioned that.
Some of the places that I like to go to or used to like to go to, because I haven't actually ordered any takeout while I've been in self-isolation, and have plastic-free options for me to use and also reusable options. So if you really wanted to, you could actually just change some of the places that you frequent if they create too much waste or more than your liking. But no pressure, that's going to be a lot of change for some people. Remember, this is about your lifestyle. I can't stress this enough, guys, because if you can't maintain this and it makes your life harder or more difficult.
I stand this video so much. I know I keep saying that, but I just appreciate videos like this versus the people who are actually getting interviewed by major news channels in the zero waste movement. I just think this is a much better approach to sustainability, and I stand.
You're not going to do it. And at the end of the day, that is helpful to no one. So this is just the beginning. I've only chipped the iceberg because I don't want this video to get too long or seem too intimidating. So if there are any areas of your life or items in particular or things you just have questions about, leave them down in the comment section. And if you want me to do a part 2, just leave this emoji. If your goal is to ultimately become zero waste, then you can just take these principles and keep substituting until you are eventually not only plastic free, but waste free. And I applaud you for your dedication, and I thank you. If you're just looking to make some changes to be as conscious as you can, I also applaud you. Again, this is not about being perfect. The objective here is just to do better. So keep challenging your purchases and your lifestyle choices, and just ask yourself, does this behavior support my values concerning the environment, or whatever your motivation is? Be patient with yourself and remember that small tasks add up to big change. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, do give it a thumbs up because it lets me know what you want to see more of. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos because I have lots more to watch on pretty much any category. I'm a Gemini. I do that.
This fly has been annoying me literally throughout this whole video. Final thoughts on today's video. As you can see, I really enjoyed this one. I really love the whole message of just do your best and take the baby steps you can to become zero waste. There wasn't as much of a focus of being perfect and making zero waste. It was mostly like transition as fast as you can into a more sustainable lifestyle. Make the stops that you can make. Do the things that you can do every day to become more sustainable rather than jumping into this whole completely new world. I actually just finished reading a book all about habits, and if you want to be more sustainable and make that a habit, changing things really quickly is the fastest way to not actually stick to your habit of being more sustainable. Making slower changes is just going to be a lot easier rather than becoming zero waste overnight. If you want to be more sustainable, definitely take the tips from this video. I'll have it linked down below. Obviously, you just watched it, but I'll have it linked down below. I think it's very important to go at your own pace, try the best that you can, do the most that you can, and make swaps along the way rather than trying to be perfect at it and doing it overnight. So yeah, I definitely give this video like 5 leaves out of 5, and I'm gonna go, I definitely subscribe to this girl's channel. But those are my opinions on this video, and if you guys have any other video recommendations, I would love to see them down below. I think I'm gonna be working on doing a much more in-depth and longer response video to the true cost. I feel like that's one of the most well-known like sustainability fast fashion documentaries, so I'm gonna be doing a super long in-depth video on that pretty soon. That was it for today's video. I will have my social media linked down below so you can go follow me on everything. Also, don't forget to subscribe because I'm trying to get to 12,000 subscribers this year, so if you could help me reach that, that would be amazing. I've been just completely overjoyed and enjoying the growth that my channel has been seeing. This is completely surreal, and thank you guys so much for all of the love and support, especially on my last zero waste reaction video. The average view duration is like 3 times my regular view duration, so you guys seem to really like these videos, and that makes me so happy, and I can't wait to post more about them. But that was it for today's video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye guys.